Okay guys, so I am making this video to address why there hasn't been too many new Rogue Benders videos from me. And so that comes with like a lot of reasons. So the first one is I believe that the game is sort of dying at the moment. Like currently in the state that the game is in, I just feel like there hasn't been any new content. And by that I mean like there's been new weapons and new sort of sub endings and stuff that you can get, but there hasn't been actually any new content to the game, which I feel really does hinder or really hurt the amount of player base that there is for the game because people just lose interest over time. So yeah, I believe that since there is like less content specifically inside of the game, it is making it a bit harder for players that were already playing the game to keep playing, and they probably quit or they're waiting for a bigger and new update with more content. Now off of this, I'm gonna go probably into the main reason that I believe. Personally, this might not be true, but this is the reason why I believe why Rogue Benders has died or lost at least 80% of its player base. Currently, at the time that I'm playing right now, at August 5th, this game has 114 concurrent players. So it used to be more near like 1,000 to 3,000 concurrent players. So it's lost about 80 to 90% of its player base. And I'm going to go into why. So let's get right into that. So the reason why I think that most of the player base has died was because of like the old owner. I guess you can say we're the old person releasing out updates. I just feel like there was a moment in time in which everybody was hyped for an update. There were so many people playing. And so, like, the devs were like, this week, we're going to get the update. This weekend is going to be the update. So first, it started off saying, okay, the end of this week, you guys are going to get an update with all these codes. And then, once that week passed, everybody was wondering what happened to the update, especially myself, because I was ready to make a video on it. If it was new content, everything new. Like, I was ready to make a video because they were hyping up to be some big update and everything, right? So it didn't happen, unfortunately. There was no new update and that sort of thing as well when it came to specifically Rogue Benders. And so I was waiting. I was like, okay, maybe like next week. And I believe I believe the developer just posted and said, hey, we're gonna like there have been some setbacks and everything. We're gonna have it by like the end of like this week, like this weekend, like a weekend update, you know? And so I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, I'm excited for this weekend update. Like, I don't mind waiting like another week. The problem was that that update never came as well. So I was just like, okay, so we didn't get an update. They're probably preparing for like something big. There's going to be a ton of content in this next update. And so I just kept on waiting week after week for this update specifically because there wasn't anything else to do in the game. As if you get your third bending or your last bendings and your sub bending for your basically like your element, if you did have it at the time, there was nothing else to really do inside of the game. And I feel like that's what really pushed away a lot of players. And the reason why I think that pushed away a lot of players was because after he had specifically like announced all of that and everything, I believe there was a change in ownership or develop and or like the person that was like really owning the game or sending out updates, and that was Voos. Voos, I actually know very well. He is a Dark Avatar, or was at the time, and he's just a really cool person. And I know that like under his sort of like leadership and that sort of thing, update will get out. It will be really good. He'll revive the game and everything like that as well. And I still believe that to this day, don't get me wrong. I feel like this game still has a ton of potential. It's just that the reason why I think the game is dying right now is because it lost a lot of momentum. And the reason why I think it lost all that momentum was because of that specific like other dev that was basically owning the game earlier in like the sort of development of this game or update in this game. The hype, the momentum just all died out for this update. And especially when the update released, it wasn't even anything big. I remember I made a video like a week or two back talking about, what to expect. I was gonna say there'd be all this cool stuff and everything because I knew that it was gonna be a great update because, you know, usually bigger updates do have their setbacks. So I was thinking it was gonna be like some big like Project Slayers, GPO type of like update. We're gonna have like an entirely new system. We're gonna have new sub bendings. It's gonna be like a game changer. It's gonna make all the game, like all the players that had everything maxed out have an even higher max, which they did, keep in mind, for stamina or chi here, which I haven't really focused on yet. But they increased that cap. But the thing is, they added just new weapons, and they didn't really add new content, and I feel like that's the problem. The reason why a lot of people left is because, say a new weapon gets released, right? Just an entirely cool new weapon, right? So you're telling me that someone's gonna want to go make a whole new character or just test out that weapon for about a day or two and keep playing the game? I'm sorry, that's, for me, that personally, like, for me, I would not take that. I mean, for me personally, that would not be what I would do. I would be expecting new content. If there's an update, usually content is usually indicative of a new update. And I was like, okay, this might be more a half update. So I waited a bit longer to make like a video because I wanted all these updates to sort of mesh together. I can make just one big video going over all of it for you guys. But there hasn't really been too much new content. Like, there hasn't been any expansion to the map. There hasn't been any new sort of quest. There hasn't even been like a raid system, which was something I was really hoping for personally. Because I know a lot of games recently do that. Like, I know GPO might have it, or I think it was Project Slayers that has like raids and everything, like the Mugen Train raid. So that was something I was really expecting and I was very hyped for, and unfortunately that did not come. So that was what really made me sad as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is the state of the game right now is it's sort of dying at the moment. We're currently like 100 players. 2 weeks ago was like 800. So the game sort of is slowly starting to die right now because there is no new content. And that's basically why I'm making this video. I just want to have a bit of an update on why I haven't been really making any Rogue Benders videos. And the main reason is because there isn't enough content for me to make videos on. Sure, I can showcase new weapons, but it's probably just going to be a few M1s, and it's not going to be so important as to like a whole content update in which you get to go explore new things, new bosses, new everything, like anything new. And one thing I will give credit to Voos and everything as well, is they're trying their hardest. They're trying so good. Like, they have been so much more attached to the community and just giving back to the community. So many new codes, so many new element rerolls, so much more like communication with the community. So I love that a lot, because before that, it was pretty much dead silent. And what was really carrying the game, in my opinion, was factions like the Red Lotus, the Fire Nation, the Air Nation, Water Nation, always like all those raids between like the other nations and stuff were specifically like carrying the game, in my opinion. I felt like that made the game fun for a bit, especially when the Dark Avatar, also known as Voos, was involved, or even like the Avatar themselves was involved. It made the game way more fun. But I feel like since the game's dying, that's happening less frequently because people don't want to get on as much. And with less players means there's going to be less events, and so it's not really like the best sort of ideal thing you want to go for in a game. Now, I am not saying that this game's gonna be dead forever. I'm sure Voos is cooking it up in the kitchen, making something super good, a really good update. I'm just saying this is the current state right now. I know that they're definitely working on something, and this is not to go and to say, oh, the game's never gonna get revived again. I think it's gonna for sure get revived again, for sure, under like Voos's leadership and everything. I feel like it's gonna be really nice, and I know the developers are working hard. If not the one developer, I don't know how many developers there are now, but I know that they're working super hard. I just hope that they add more content, more PvE content specifically, because I know the game is mostly PvP at the moment. They add more PvE content as well, like maybe like a storyline, maybe like sort of like how Deepwoken would as well, how there's like mobs you can fight, that sort of thing. Something that they can really get creative with and mix in, I feel like would make the game so much better. And yeah, I still have high hopes for this game. I'm just waiting for one huge content update that I can make a huge video on and help you guys out with. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Drop a sub if you liked the video. Drop a like if you want more updates on this game if something great does happen, which I know will. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.